Hey guys, it's me, your favorite YouTuber here, and I'm gonna talk about the survivors in the Robloxia Until Dawn. So let's get into that. Bacon serves as a way of being like a scapegoat for other survivors. If you're like running away from the killer, it's better to go to a Bacon that, assuming that Bacon knows how to play the game and is good at juking, right? Because that's all Bacon can really do. He can't really do that much else for the team besides providing himself as a scapegoat for other survivors to get away, because he's intended to be a distractor. That's pretty much all he can do. He has his dash ability, which allows him to lunge himself forward pretty far. This can be used to reach certain gaps that otherwise wouldn't be attainable without this ability, and it can be used as a good way to escape killers. It's pretty funny. He then has his quick dodge, which acts as a parry that allows him to avoid a bit of damage, and in turn gives him a speed boost to help him get away from the killer. That way they can eventually just get off of him. And his cooldowns come back pretty quickly to the point where he can, assuming that you last long enough to juke and stuff, then you can get your cooldowns pretty quickly and repeat the cycle. It's pretty funny. He's pretty good on his own, so I would say he's an A tier, but usually when it comes to the teammates, he's not that good. But on its own, yeah, he's an A tier. Bloxer. I have mixed feelings about this guy, solely because of how the team effort comes into play, where his rocket launcher is his stunning ability, and it allows him to wind up his rocket launcher. He'll then put it on his shoulder, right, to shoot it. That's why you have to make sure that you're far away from the killer, otherwise the wind up is going to mess you up. You wind it up first, and then you have to aim and shoot pinpoint accurate at the killer. You can't just go like a tiny bit off of its avatar, because it doesn't really have that big of an AoE hitbox, so you have to make sure your accuracy is very, very good. So if you can't aim, this isn't for you. But it's really not that hard to aim this, to be honest. It's pretty easy. All you gotta do is just point and, optimize, because you can't move whilst you're using this. So yeah, be very precise. Well, I think you can move just a tiny bit. So yeah, be very, very, very smart with this. And to help him to, utilize this more efficiently, he has his overcharge coil, which once you use this ability, you have to spam the key that you used to activate this ability. That way you can increase your speed to the maximum to get away from killers, assuming they immediately start targeting you the second that they see that you stun them. Pretty good character, but gets targeted a lot to the point where it's kind of annoying, but I would say he's a decent A tier. Brick Battler, probably one of the strongest characters in the game, honestly, because of his insanely stupid abilities. His quick slash acts as both a weapon to stun killers and also a very good ability for making distance, because not only can you use this as a way to juke the killers, but you can also use this as a way to stun, because your slash will lunge you through and slash the killer if assuming you lunge through them. This can be kind of easy to dodge as long as you're smart about it, but it still acts as a great way to make distance because it lunges you so far forward. It's pretty nutty. He then has his block ability, which lasts so long. Why does this ability last so long? It's very important to pay attention to the Brick Battler's stance, so that way you know when their block is over, because it's just dumb how long this thing lasts. You could miss like 2 times, and then on the third hit, you'll hit the block on accident. It's actually so dumb. And most of the time, killers will end up missing your block because of their ping and latency. It is so annoying. But even then, the block lasts so long that they'll end up just hitting you regardless. It's the funniest thing ever, bro. I love it. I think he's an S tier. Definitely one of the strongest survivors as of right now. Builderman. Good old David Bazooki himself. He has his ban hammer, which allows him to swing forward and, stun the killer if need be. This is a very easy attack to hit. Super easy. And if you can't hit this, then you kind of just suck. In general, not just as Builderman, you just suck at games, in general. If you can't hit this ability, then that's just sad, because this thing is instant, so it's the easiest thing to hit. Genuinely. It's actually so annoying. It's instant. It's an instant ability. It doesn't have wind up. It's literally instant. It's the stupidest thing ever, and I love it. He also has his alarm mine, which more acts as a way to know where the killer is rather than it does as a stun. It can stun the killer, but usually the killer is going to run out of the radius of the explosion or jump away from it, so it doesn't really, act as much as a stun, and more as a way to know where the killer is. As the builderman can see where the killer is because when the alarm is passed through or stepped on, it'll show builderman where the killer is, essentially. So yeah, I think he's a pretty decent S tier. Like, a lot of survivors are gonna get an S tier because, god, they are stupid broken. Guest. I think he's the weakest survivor out of the cast, mostly because of the fact that his abilities are kind of if anything. His focus ability allows him to see where the killer is and also all survivors, and it also protects him from being indicated, meaning that he can't be aura read, so it's good for that, I guess. And his spray paint is cool, I guess. It blinds the killer if you make content, but usually this attack is pretty easy to dodge. It's not even an attack, it's not a stun, it just blinds the killer. And if the killer just stands there, it doesn't really, provide that much of a benefit. Mostly because of the fact that the killer could just, continue running forward and just like hit anything that he comes across, and he might just accidentally hit you even while he's blind. The blindness does not last a long time, it's pretty short, so I don't think it provides that much of a benefit. So I would say that out of all the survivors, I think Guess is the weakest. Not saying he's the worst. The blindness can be funny, assuming you're in dead zones and then you end up trapping the killer in a dead zone, so that way when you run away, he has no idea where you guys are. But again, it's whatever. I think he's a B tier. He's definitely the weakest out of them all. Jane Doe. God, I hate Jane Does. But she's not that strong, don't worry. Her medkit ability allows for her to start walking in place, and any survivor that she comes close to that is injured, she can use the medkit to walk in place and start healing them from a distance. Even if they run away, as long as she has the medkit already active, then they'll still be healed. This will heal them for 20 HP, which isn't a lot, but health is health, so, you can't really complain. It's better to use this ability when you're on top of leverages to make sure that the killer can't get to you as easily, and it sucks that she can't heal herself, but whatever. And Team Boost, which will provide a speed boost for every survivor in the radius of Jane Doe. It's a pretty good ability for fleeing, and it also boosts her, which is, duh, why wouldn't it? It's very, very strong. I don't think she's that strong though, as she can't really defend herself as well in comparison to other survivors. She kind of has that same thing with Bacon, where she acts more as like a scapegoat. She's supposed to be a punching bag, even though she is a support, which is kind of odd. But yeah, she's alright. I would give her an A tier, like a very low A tier, like just barely not scratching B tier. Then Shaletsky. Whoa, Shaletsky, the goat, the man of the hour. Shaletsky has his chicken, which, assuming he's low HP, he can use this chicken to heal. It heals about 75 HP. That is actually nutty as heck. It has a pretty long cooldown, being practically 2 minutes, so use this very wisely, and you should only ever use this when you take a very concerning amount of damage to the point where you're practically one shot. His Wind Force, which is one of his swords, allows him to propel himself forward and slashing furiously, like he's like doing a tornado move, right, because of the Wind Force, and it'll stun the killer if he comes in contact with him. I would say it's pretty predictable as a killer. It's better for you as a survivor to use this if the killer is right on top of you. That way they can't predict it as well, or they can't get away as easily. It's really not that hard. But he's a pretty decent survivor. I'd say he's an A tier too. And yeah, that's all the survivors. And yeah, that's all. Thanks for watching.